Have you ever wondered how trauma changes a person? Not just emotionally, but deep inside the brain. Maybe you've noticed it yourself. You're walking through your day, everything seems fine, and then suddenly you feel distant, like you're watching life through glass, or your heart pounds at something small and you can't explain why. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone, you're not broken. These are your brain survival systems still at work, protecting you long after the danger has passed. When we go through trauma, our brain chemistry shifts. Circuits meant for short bursts of survival can get stuck in overdrive, shaping how we think, feel, and respond to the world. In this video, we'll explore how trauma reshapes the brain, and more importantly, how healing can rewire it back. It changes your brain structure. Imagine your brain as an airport. There's a control tower, a security team, and even a baggage claim area. They all have jobs. The prefrontal cortex, the control tower. This is the rational part of your brain. It helps you make decisions, solve problems, and calm yourself down. The amygdala, the alarm system. This little almond-shaped cluster is like airport security. It scans for danger. When it senses a threat, it sounds the alarm. And the hippocampus is like the baggage claim. This area processes memories, deciding what to keep, what to file away, and what's important for context. And here's the problem. When you go through trauma, the amygdala goes into overdrive, screaming danger at even the smallest, most harmless things. It becomes overactive, leading to a heightened sense of fear, anxiety, and a constant state of alert. On the other hand, your prefrontal cortex becomes underactive, making it harder to regulate emotions, impulses, and behavior. Decision-making and concentration suffer, and in moments of panic, it can even shut down completely, which explains why thinking clearly feels impossible when you're overwhelmed. Ever wonder why you can't remember parts of your childhood? Or why you get triggered by something random and can't really explain why? Trauma often shrinks the hippocampus, which leads to memory impairments and difficulty learning or processing new information. Dissociation and emotional detachment. One of the most common effects of trauma is dissociation, a disruption in the normal integration of memory, identity, and perception. You might feel detached from your body, as if you're floating outside of yourself. Or the world around you may feel unreal, like you're watching your life through a movie screen. At other times, emotions flatten entirely and you go numb. No joy, no sadness, just emptiness. Dissociation happens when the brain's stress response system is overwhelmed. To prevent psychological overload, the brain essentially cuts the circuit, blunting emotional intensity and sensory input. It's like a fuse blowing out so the whole house doesn't burn down. In the short term, this mechanism is protective, but over time, chronic dissociation can leave you disconnected from your body, your emotions, your relationships, and even your own sense of self. And that disconnection often makes survivors feel stuck in the very place they most want to escape. Okay, midpoint check-in. Hey, you made it this far. Thanks for sticking around. It means you care enough to understand yourself or someone you love on a deeper level. And that matters. Don't worry, this is all going to make more sense as we go, and once it does, you'll see your brain in a whole new way. It traps you in a trauma loop. A trauma loop is what happens when your brain and body get stuck in survival mode. Instead of recognizing the danger has passed, your nervous system keeps replaying old patterns: fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. It can feel like deja vu in your life, the same painful emotions, reactions, and even relationships repeating themselves. A slammed door, a harsh word, or even a random smell can trigger the same panic or numbness your brain once used to survive. Why does this happen? Sometimes the body's natural stress response never fully completes, so the trauma stays stored. The brain also builds shortcuts, associating harmless cues with danger. Each time you avoid a trigger, you get short-term relief, but it reinforces the loop. And the result? Heightened stress, overwhelming emotions, repeating old patterns, and a body that feels tense or shut down even when you're safe. The good news is your brain can heal. Okay, so far this all sounds heavy, but here's the hopeful truth. The brain is plastic, moldable, and that neuroplasticity means your brain can grow, adapt, and rewire even after trauma. Healing takes time and often help from therapy, community, and practices that regulate your nervous system, but it's absolutely possible. Let's explore some of the most effective research-backed ways to help your brain recover and grow stronger. 1. Mindfulness and grounding. When you're dissociating, mindfulness is like gently flicking the lights back on. It's noticing the feeling of your feet on the floor, the sound of a fan humming in the room, the taste of your coffee. Small grounding practices help remind your brain that you're here, you're safe, and this moment is real. If you want, you can try right now. Look around and name 5 things you see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you hear, 2 things you smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This simple 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 technique can anchor you. 2. Movement and exercise. Exercise isn't just about fitness, it's medicine for the brain. Research shows that movement helps rebalance stress hormones like cortisol and can even boost the size of your hippocampus, the part of the brain that processes memory and often shrinks under trauma. And the best part, it doesn't have to mean an intense workout. It could be as simple as walking around the block, stretching while listening to your favorite song, or dancing in your room. Certain practices go even deeper. Yoga, for example, combines movement, breath, and mindfulness. This helps regulate the nervous system, lowers hyperarousal, and teaches the body to feel safe again. Similarly, somatic therapies focus on tuning into body sensations, shaking, grounding, or gentle movements that release stored tension. These practices work because trauma isn't only in your head, it's stored in the body. Movement tells your nervous system the danger has passed. I can move freely again. 3. Safe relationships. Trauma often happens in relationships through abuse, neglect, or betrayal, which is why healing also happens in relationships. Finding safe people, friends, support groups, communities who validate your feelings helps rewire your brain's trust circuits. Every time someone listens without judgment or hugs you without harm, your nervous system learns connection can be safe. 4. Creative expression. Art therapy gives survivors of trauma a safe, creative way to express what words cannot capture. Through drawing, painting, sculpting, or collage, people can release hidden emotions, reduce anxiety, and make sense of painful memories. Simple activities such as sculpting, creating visual representations, collage making, and creating a timeline can help trauma survivors build coping skills, rewrite their story, and find healing in new forms of expression. For many, creative outlets help release what's stuck, becoming both a voice and a path back to wholeness. And 5, therapy and professional support. Therapies like EDMR, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, and somatic therapies are specifically designed to help the brain process trauma. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and internal family systems, IFS, also offer tools for reshaping thought patterns. If therapy feels overwhelming or out of reach, even starting with small online resources, podcasts, or communities where trauma is talked about openly can be a step. Trauma may have rewired your brain to survive, but with these strategies, you can rewrite it to thrive. So what's one small step you can take today to remind your brain that you're safe now? If this resonated, you're not alone. If you feel comfortable, say, "I'm here" in the comment section and share one small step you'll try today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support our channel and help us make more meaningful content. Thanks so much for watching.